Explosive revelation. And it says, in a shocking turn of events, a bombshell investigation has uncovered a jaw-dropping connection between Fani Willis and a sprawling web of election fraud and money laundering activities. Investigation spans across multiple states and multiple jurisdictions, has revealed a complex network of illicit operations aimed at undermining the very foundation of our constitutional republic and the rule of law. Sources close to the matter suggest that Willis was a massive beneficiary in a federal and a Georgia RICO enterprise. It appears that she is currently playing a key role in orchestrating a systematic scheme to manipulate election outcomes, casting doubt on the integrity of the entire electoral process. It says this massive ongoing money laundering operations involves wire fraud, invasion of campaign finance limits, structuring of finance transactions, tax fraud, nonprofit fraud, identity theft, and elder abuse. The RICO operations is still in operations today using identities of unwitting elderly and other Democrat voters. This massive RICO money laundering enterprise is fuel for the entire election fraud RICO operation. They're saying buying a district attorney, which this is Alvin Bragg, massive numbers of campaign finance contributors from networks of individuals who have been identified as Smurfs. The investigation into Alvin Bragg also helped to uncover the use of prepaid credit and debit cards in structuring the campaign finance contribution and payment of ballot harvesting mules. It says, does anyone find it interesting that Alvin Bragg charged Donald Trump criminally after the campaign finance violations while benefiting from the money laundering RICO enterprise? So this ActBlue, it sounds like this is a PAC, a super PAC or something like that. And they're saying this ActBlue donated money to all these people. Alvin Bragg, Supreme Court Justice in Wisconsin, they said over 23 million was raised in this ActBlue. And it was largely through Soros-linked organization in the ActBlue money laundering enterprise. I believe it. If it says Soros behind it, I believe it. And they're saying to follow the money, so we did. Individual contributors, the first item we identified in Fani Willis campaign, let me show you this. Fani Willis campaign finance report was that there are 222 contributors to her campaign that had zero donor information. So where is this money coming from? Another point of interest was that many of the campaign contributors to Fani Willis campaigns were from out of the state contributors. Many of these out of state contributors fit the profile of the ActBlue money laundering scheme victims as participants that we had identified in every single state across America. So super PACs or any type of PAC, any contribution made over a certain dollar amount, they got to list that. That's same with campaign finances. If they donate to your fund over a certain dollar amount, they have to put the name of the donor, you know. So, and that's why they're calling it Smurfs, ActBlue money laundering scheme. Why would elderly people who do not contribute in their own local elections be interested in making a campaign contribution to a little-known Georgia district attorney beginning in 2022? We don't know. That's a good question. Why would a person in Wisconsin or any other state contribute to Fani campaign? Because these people didn't know they was contributing to Fani Lewis. That's why they used that. That's why they said elder abuse, tax fraud, nonprofit fraud, identity theft, and elder abuse, because they're taking advantage of old people. It says upon further investigation, a pattern seemed to emerge yet. When contacted about making campaign contributions to Fani Lewis, One of the elderly people on the list stated that she never made a single campaign finance contribution to her campaign. She assured me that she had not made multiple campaign contributions. Another interesting pattern raised significant questions. Why had this particular campaign contributor been using address in multiple states to make campaign contributions? Upon further investigation, this Fani Willis campaign contributor was registered to vote in several states. I don't know if you guys remember me talking about this a while back when they started that whole thing. Oh, it's COVID. You can mail in your ballots. And I said, hey, I received like 5 ballots. Like literally, I received 5 ballots with my name on it. My husband received 5 ballots with his name on it. And they were telling us, oh, mail it in. You can mail your ballots in. Oh, you're not in Michigan? You can mail it in. Oh, you're going to out of town? You can mail it in. Oh, you're afraid of COVID. Mail in your ballots. And like literally every month before the election, we received these mail-in ballots. So now we got elders that they probably didn't know they was registered to vote in multiple states. They didn't know that. They did not know they was registered to vote in multiple states. It says another individual, Fani Willis campaign contributor, who had made a single campaign contribution, also identified as an individual contributor, making campaign finance contributions using addresses in multiple states to include Florida, Wisconsin, Illinois, and New York. These individual contributors, if you go and look to see where they're registered at, they're probably registered in multiple states. Why did they pick these states? We don't know. Something's going on in those states that they need to have some type of political power in those states. Coincidentally, the individual made identical contributions via ActBlue to the same PACs and campaigns. This same individual was also listed as a registered voter in multiple states, casting vote by mail ballots. Now, you notice they're not going to name the individual contributor. They probably don't want nothing to happen to them. Because if you could pull together $23 million, the Soros people, so you could pull your election strings and you could have your political power and do as you will, you could get rid of some people, especially some elderly people. And Fani, it sounds like to me, she's part of that ring. Have you guys noticed the thing? They got all these Black people prosecuting Trump. They sold to the devil, basically. And I'm talking about Fani Willis and Alvin Bragg. And it says, as we investigated the individual contributors to Fani Willis campaign and examined their ongoing contributions via ActBlue, we see that all of these individuals are making contribution to the same PAC and candidates. This is an ongoing pattern of activities that appears to have started in the great scale of 2018 and has rapidly accelerated at the federal and state local levels. One out of the state Fani Willis campaign contributors had made over 9,178 individual contributions just at the federal level since 2018. And it's saying, what does it cost to buy a DA race? It costs $226,000 apparently. How is it that so many people out of the state that are not employed are making so many campaign finance contributions to little known district attorney in Atlanta, Georgia, beginning in 2022? What is being seen at the growing and alarming rate is that the nationwide money laundering RICO enterprise is making more and more contributions to PACs in these PACs are financing local candidates. Many of these PACs have strong ties to numerous Soros-connected organizations that are active participants in nationwide election fraud, money laundering, terrorist networking finance, and massive ongoing RICO enterprise.